I'm Roger Myers, and I'm here at Abbey Road Studios recording with the LSO, a program of viola music with orchestra, and it's works by Schumann, Shostakovich, and LA-based composer Michael McLean, the work that I commissioned. A colleague of mine in the United States where I work, he actually recorded a work by Michael McLean, in fact here about 7 years ago. And the composition that he was recording so impressed me that I thought I'd commission a work in honor of my mother, who had actually just recently died. We spoke about my mother and the kind of personality she was. She was a musician, she was a concert pianist. She actually lived in London. I married my father in London. She actually did some recording herself at Abbey Road back in the 50s or early 60s. It's emotional for me to have my father here. He and my mother were part of my musical upbringing. They were musicians. So to see this happening here in a place that he knows she was in, I think that's very emotional. So I know he's very touched by being here.
You know, it's the first time I've been here since 1961.
Wow. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
What do you think about being here?
Oh, it's marvellous. I remember we came here in a taxi so that your mother could give her solo broadcast. I don't know whether the BBC even does much of this now, but they did lots of it then. Mm-hmm. And I came to turn the pages.
Oh, cool.
And that was it. It's funny to come back here after all this time.
Yeah, so you suppose you never thought you'd have your son here either.
I certainly did not, no.
No matter what happened, she believed in a higher good and redemption and new beginnings for people. And so this piece has that. It's actually not a sad piece at all. It's very uplifting. Well, the Shostakovich Sonata was written by Shostakovich in the last year of his life. In fact, the last month and a half of his life. He wanted to write it for the violist of the Beethoven String Quartet. He had already written violin and cello works for other members, as well as string quartets. He completed the autograph score, proofed it, and sent it to the violist, and it was 4 days later that Shostakovich passed away. He never actually heard it performed. The orchestration was conceived by the Romanian violist Vladimir Mendelssohn. If you didn't know this was transcribed by someone else, you'd probably think this was a Shostakovich original. I think Shostakovich wrestles with his impending mortality all the way to the end. And in the last page of the piece, just suddenly he gives up and it turns into serenity, I think. Even the very last chord is tainted by a dissonance that then ultimately just gently resolves into consonance. So to many of us, is Shostakovich's last will and testament. The Schumann Märchenbilder is a stock repertoire piece in the viola. I play the piece all the time in recital. This transcription actually had been commissioned by me, again from my friend Michael McLean. It was considered a great bookend because if we've got the Shostakovich Sonata, which is his last will and testament, and this piece that was dedicated to the memory of someone that was much loved, and in the middle we have a set of fantasy pieces. It's called Pictures from Fairyland, Märchenbilder. So we've got these unification through the Märchenbilder of these other style of, memorial pieces. Playing with the LSO is an extraordinary thing. To come to what I consider the epicenter of great orchestral playing is an incredible honour and privilege. I've always ranked the London Symphony in the very top handful of orchestras in the world. The experience of playing with them merely served to confirm what I already knew. Viola tone is a special sound. Finding the repertoire that shows that off, and not only repertoire that shows it off, but it's so varied as this CD. It is virtuosic, it is emotionally profound, some of this music. A viola CD that has that much variety is probably not your average everyday CD.